Welcome to Web Technologies training program. In the today's lesson, we are going to look forward for understanding NgFor. In the previous lessons, we have created the components, we have worked with the data bindings, we have worked with the modules, decorators and directives. So, today mainly we are going to understand NgFor. NgFor is one of the predefined directives. Yesterday, I have explained about the introduction to directives. A directive is a predefined class which do some particular operation on the particular HTML tag. NgFor is meant for looping, that means reading the data from an array and displaying the same in the corresponding output. For example, we have a list of products in the array. I am going to read the data from the products array and display the same. So, you might be having so many multiple n number of elements in the array. All the elements should be read one by one and should be displayed in the output. For this kind of tasks, we have to use NgFor. So, in real time applications, you will be having multiple records in most common. So, wherever you have a multiple records, multiple set of values, in all those cases we have to use NgFor. So, let us try to understand the syntax of NgFor practically. So, the syntax of NgFor is, first we have a tag, and inside the tag we have to provide star NgFor let variable of array name. Here we have to specify the name of the array from which you want to read the data. Of is a predefined keyword to specify the array name. Here variable is user defined variable name. This variable name can be anything. So, we are going to read the values from the array and assign the same into respective variable. Here let is a keyword to declare or create this variable. NgFor is meant for reading the data from an array. Here star means micro syntax. That means it is not a single variable name, it is a complex scripting. This complex scripting will be decoded into JavaScript. So, to indicate that this part is a micro syntax, we have to use star, and NgFor angular, for is meant for loop. This is the understanding of the NgFor syntax. So, let us try to understand the NgFor practically. In our existing application, somewhere else we have to create the NgFor. For example, we have something called products component. Let us create a new component called products. cd::, angular 3 pm app 1 g for generate component. We are going to create a component called products. Here products is name of the component that you want to create. Now, the products.component.ts, the products.component.css, HTML and spec.ts have been created. Now, the products.component.html has been created here. Okay, there is a folder called products and there we have products.component.ts. Here we have to create the name of the array from which you want to read the data. Presently, this implements on init is not required, so I am just erasing it and deleting this on init importing. Let us create products array. Is what type of array? String array. We are going to store the list of products inside the products array. So, this dot products is equal to, there is an array with product 1, product 2, product 3, 3 products we have. So, these 3 products I want to read the data into the HTML file and I want to display the same. So, I just go to products.component.html file. Here is a place where exactly we read the data. We are going to generate a p tag for every product. Here we have 3 products. I want to read the data from these 3 products and display the same. So, for the p tag we have to provide NgFor. Exactly which tag needs to be repeated, for that tag only we have to keep NgFor. It's star NgFor. Star indicates it's a micro syntax. Micro syntax means it is a complex scripting, not a simple syntax. So, star NgFor, we have to provide a let variable name product of products. That means from this products array we are going to read the data into the variable product. Each time we are going to display the product. So, save this and run this. Okay, there is no routing for this. Let us create a routing for this. Go to app.module.ts. We have to import products component already imported. Then we have to declare a routing for this. Whenever the URL is products, then we are going to invoke products component. Now, let us enter the URL products. So, we can see products array. It has repeated the p tag. We have written the p tag only one time, but it has repeated 3 times because of NgFor. Okay, now let us add some meaningful product names. For example, coffee, juice and milk. I just provided 3 product names. So, those names are displayed here. I would like to display some bullet symbol for every item. So, we have to convert this product into UL tag. I am going to place some UL tag. Inside the UL tag, we have to place LI tag, LI for list item. So, which tag will be repeated here, UL or LI? LI tag will be repeated, because in which tag we have written NgFor, for that particular tag only will get repeated. So, we can expect the 3 LI tags has been displayed. We can also do one thing, right click inspect element. In the inspector window, we can notice 3 LI tags have been displayed. That means 3 LI tags dynamically gets generated because of NgFor. I want to allow the user to add the new record and delete existing record. So, assume we are having some existing data. Whatever the existing data we have, we are reading from the array and displaying the same. At the same time, I want to allow the user to add the new record plus delete existing record. This is the next modification that we are trying to do. In order to allow the user to perform addition and adding and removing, we have to create 2 properties in addition. One is the item to add and other one is item to delete. So, let us check it. In the products.component.ts, we have created new product string array, and then here we have to create a text box. Placeholder is equal to new product. This is binded with new product. That means whenever the user has entered some value in the text box, automatically the same value will get updated into the variable new product, which is already present here. So, I am just typing some value. This value gets updated into which property? The new product property, as we mentioned there. And this value needs to be added to the existing array called products. But when the user clicks on a button, let us create a button, that is add button. When the user clicks on that, we are going to call a method called onAddClick. In this on add click, we are going to add the new data to the existing products. So, this dot products dot push of this dot new product. That means we are going to read the data from the new we are going to read the data from the new product property, and I am going to add the same to the products array. Once we have added to the products array, automatically the same will be displayed in the NgFor. NgFor will regenerate the output automatically. So, any product name whatever you type there, first this value is being added to the new product property, and when we click on add button, this value is being added to the existing array. Notice we have written the code for adding the value to the array, but we have not written any code for updating the user interface. The array will be automatically updated in the user interface by the NgFor mechanism itself. But generally after adding, what we expect is we have to expect this text box should be clear or empty. To clear the text box, what we have to try to do, this dot new product is equal to empty. So, this new product property is going to be empty there. So, after adding the name, I click on add button, automatically the text box becomes empty. Like this, we can keep on adding any number of names. And same like this, I would like to allow the user to remove existing item. In order to create a remove button inside the NgFor, we have to create input type equal to button. Input type equal to button, value is equal to remove. When the user clicks on this, we are going to call a method called on remove click. So, we are going to create a method called on remove click. When we click on the button, it is going to call a method called on remove click. But here the question is, how do we know which item needs to be removed? Either user has clicked on the first remove button or second remove button, how do we know that point? Presently, you click on any remove button here, it is calling the same function. You click any button, it is calling the same function. But to identify exactly which one is clicked by user, we have to pass the index as argument. But how do we know the index? If it is a for loop, generally we will use I for index, right? So, just like that, here also there is a predefined variable called index. Here index is a predefined variable. We are going to assign the same value into the local variable I. So, the current working index is being assigned into the variable I. That value needs to be passed to on remove click function, and that value needs to be received here, which is of number type, and I am going to display the index. So, when I click on remove, see we can see the index, that is 0 here, next 1 here, next 2 here, and the corresponding index, which one is exactly clicked, that index we are going to see. Based on the index, we can easily remove the item. In order to remove the item, products of dot splice of index comma 1. Here I for index and 1 is indicating the number of records to be removed. I want to remove only one element at the position number I. So, I click on remove, whichever I clicked there, that exact element is being removed. But before removing, I would like to ask the confirmation message from the user. So, if confirm of are you sure to delete, if the user clicks on yes, then only we have to remove it. So, this dot products dot splice of index comma 1 only when the user clicks on OK button. So, before removing, I am asking the user, do you want to delete? If I click on cancel, nothing is being removed. If I click on OK, then only it is being removed. Check again. So I click on remove for the juice. So I just OK, then the item is being removed. Okay, so adding and removing is working. But this present example demonstrates how to manipulate a simple array, just a string array. But in real time applications, the requirements will be much more complex. You have to maintain some table type of data. Suppose you have to store the product ID, name, cost, and many other details. So how do we manipulate the complex object? So in the earlier lessons, we have explained about the object array. So we have to store the object array, and we have to read the data from object array by using NgFor. So let us understand how to manipulate object array by using NgFor. So in this example, we have something called NgG component employee. NgG component employees. We are going to create a component called employees. Okay, we have a component called employees component, and I want to display this employees component through the routing. So go to app.module.ts. I am going to create a routing for this. Path is equal to employees, component is equal to employees component. Now what I want to try to do, I would like to create necessary hyperlink in this. So I just go to app.component.html. So I just create a new hyperlink for both of these. So first one is for products, which was the previous example, and now employees, which is the current example, right. So once we click on employees, we are navigating to employees component. In this employees component, what we are trying to do, I am just removing all these things. Okay, so we are just opening employees component, employee component, and that corresponding template. So first we are going to create a model class which represents the structure of the data that I would like to maintain. I want to maintain the employee ID number, name, and salary. 3 values I would like to maintain. So we have to create a model class that represents the structure of the data. Let's create a model class called employee, and there we have 3 properties: employee ID, employee name, and salary. Okay, let's try to understand here. So in this example, I am going to create a new model class. Here class means model class. Name of the class is employee. So employee class has been created. It is not a component, it is just a class, just to define the structure of the data to maintain. If you can open the employee.ts file, here we can specify the structure of the data, which includes employee ID, employee name, salary, and a constructor. I am going to receive 3 values, and I am going to assign the same values into respective properties. We are receiving 3 values and assigning into the respective properties. Now I need to create an array of employee array type. So here I am going to create I am just removing implements of on init. Employees is the name of the array, is of which type? Employee type. In the constructor, we have to initialize the data, that is this dot employees is equal to an array. In this array, new employee, we have to provide employee ID number, employee name and salary. So, we have created 3 objects of employee type. I am going to maintain them as an array. Okay. So, once we created this array, okay, we have some values. Okay. I would like to assign this particular data into which array? Employees array, and I want to read the data from this employees array. So, div heading, that is employees, table tr, employee ID, employee name, salary. For this table, we have to provide the bootstrap style of table. So, class is equal to table, and what tag needs to be repeated here? tr tag needs to be repeated. Let employee of employees. From the employees array, we are going to read the data into which variable? Employee variable. Each time the td tag needs to be repeated. Employee dot empid, emp name and salary. So, which tr will be loaded, which tr will be repeated automatically for every record? This particular tr. So, we are reading the data from this array and assigning the same into the employee variable one by one. For the first time, first object will be assigned into the variable employee, and based on that we are displaying the employee ID, name and salary, and the same process repeats till ending. So, we can see all the list of employees have been displayed as a result. Let us apply some background color for the first row. So, okay, BG secondary, no, table secondary, and I want the text color should be black. Okay, that is by default black. Now, I would like to provide adding and removing functionality for this. I am going to create a new tr with input type equal to text, placeholder is equal to employee ID. Here user is going to enter the values respectively employee ID, name and salary. So, once the user has entered the values and they have to click on some add button or insert button, then this data has to be inserted into the database, that means array. I am going to create a new td, input type equal to button, value equal to insert. When the user clicks on this insert button, we are going to execute a function called on insert click. So, when the user clicks on this insert button, we are going to call a method called on insert click. In this one, I can write some logic. So, but how do we capture these values? First of all, they should be binding for these text boxes. Which of the values the user has entered, these particular values must be read programmatically, and then these values should be inserted into the array. But in order to read the text box values, there is no direct coding. Text box values needs to be binded to some property. Through the property only we can read the value. Here we have to create a new product type of new employee type of object. Through the new employee type of object only we can read the values. So, let us create a property in the component. So, check it. Here we have a new EMP of employee type of object. We are going to instantiate it, that means creating an object for it, and I am passing null values by default. These null values are going to be displayed in the corresponding output. I want to bind this new EMP to the respective text boxes. Here in the first one, what is ng model here? New EMP dot EMP ID. For the second one, new EMP dot EMP name, new EMP dot salary, like this. So, whenever the user has entered the values in the respective text boxes, these values will be automatically updated into respective properties. Now, through these properties we are able to read the values. In this method we are going to say this dot employees dot push. We are going to pass a new object for which class? New employee class. How do we pass the employee ID? This dot new EMP dot employee ID, which is representing the first text box value, right. Now, same like this, employee name and salary values. So, we are passing the employee ID, employee name and salary values, and these values are going to be created as a new object and added the same to the employees array. Okay. So, check there. I am just entering the values and click on insert button. So, the values have been added. Generally, after adding the new values, what we expect, the text box value should be clear, right. To clear the text boxes automatically, we are going to set this dot new EMP dot employee ID is equal to null. We are going to assign to null, so that it will be ready for next record. So, after entering the values, click on insert button. These values are going to be inserted there. Which of the values we want, we can just enter and we can insert the same. So, successfully we have created inserting functionality. Same like this, we are going to create deleting functionality. I am going to create a delete button for every record. When the user clicks on the delete button, I am going to delete the corresponding record. Let us try to do it. So, here in the template, inside the NgFor, we are going to create input type equal to button, value is equal to remove or delete. When the user clicks on this delete button, we are going to call a method called on delete click. So, let us create the method on delete click. But how do we know which record is currently clicked? So, what we have done before a moment in the previous example, we have passed the index. How to get the index? Let I is equal to index. We are going to store the index into the variable I, and then we are going to pass the index value here, and that I value can be received here. First, we are getting the index into the variable I, passing the I value to the on delete click method and receiving here. Based on that, we are trying to first ask the user, then we delete it. Are you sure to delete? So, if the user clicks on OK, then what do you want to do? This dot employees dot splice of I comma 1. That means, based on the index, we are going to remove the first record. So, when I click on delete, if I click on OK, that record is being removed. we can notice practically. When I click on cancel, it is not deleting anything. So, we can add the new record also. So, we can perform inserting as well as updating. So, this is how to manipulate NgFor. So, NgFor is all about how to read the data from an array, displaying the same, and also allowing the user to manipulate it. Okay, now let us try to understand the another one, that is ng switch case. Just like in programming, we have switch case to read the data from the variable and check whether it is matching with any one of the cases or not. Similarly, in the component template also we can use a switch case. For example, based on the month number, I want to display the month name. So, we can do that by using switch case. Let us understand the switch case in the components practically. So, check there, we have month number, let us have one more extra property called joining month. One more extra property called joining month. So, we have a property called joining month. Here I want to store the month number. So, in the component I would like to pass one extra value, for example 7th month, January. Okay, so I am providing different values. So, what do you want to try to do? I just want to pass the new emp dot joining month also. Okay. So, we have successfully added the column called joining month. I want to display the joining month in the output. So, let us have a th joining month employee dot joining month. So, presently what is happening, only the joining month number is being displayed. Instead of joining month number, I want to display the month name. How do we display the month name? We are going to write the ng switch case. So, div span star ng switch. Ng switch is equal to which property? Employee dot joining month. Then ng switch case span ng switch case is equal to 1. So, if it is 1, we are going to display the John. Let us repeat the same for all the remaining months. I am going to repeat the same for 12 months. Respectively the month names. Okay, I am just going to fill all the month names. Whenever the value is matching, then corresponding month name is going to be appear. At the same time, only one month will match, but whichever the month is matched, only that name will be appear in the output. So, finally, we can see all the corresponding month names. Like this, we are able to use a switch case. So, in this way, we have understood how to work with the switch case and ngIf and ngFor. Also, we have understood the how to manipulate arrays. This is all about the NgFor development in Angular. That's all for today, and in the next class we will meet with the next topic.